afternoon, everyone. I will also want to keep myself short because I'm so sorry because IGEM is happening, a lot of things are happening, and I just hope that everyone will also have time to engage with the ministers. So I would have to leave at about 2 o'clock. So after 2 minutes, I will speak until that clock. So it shows 2 o'clock, and then I will have to move on. I hope that you will have an enjoyable session here, as well as visiting around the group and get new information and new understanding of where Malaysia stands. But let me just give you an idea of the ministry, and some of you have been to many of my conferences. I just sort of apologize that maybe I will repeat my points because these are some of the national targets that we would like to show it to people that may have not heard from me yet. So Malaysia is one of the signatories of Paris Agreement. We are committed, our national determining commitment is to reduce carbon emission intensity, that is carbon emission equivalent per GDP growth, by 45% relative to 2005 level, and 35% of which are unconditional, 10% are conditional upon international help in terms of capacity building as well as the financing. So 45%. So now, right now, we are at 33%. The UN has approached us and to get us to review our NDC and our national target, or whether or not we want to review it. And now we are considering that, and if any change to our NDC, we'll announce it in the next Conference of Party for United Nations Framework of Climate Change in next year in Glasgow, the UK. So this is basically our climate change agenda. So whenever we talk about climate change, of course, then we talk about renewable energy, energy efficiency, waste management, as well as water management. But I just want to touch on renewable energy and energy efficiency on this aspect, and then later on the waste aspect that is related to our view. On renewable energy front, the government has set a new goal on renewable energy to increase our renewable energy to 20% by 2025 in our electricity generation mix, excluding large hydro above 100 megawatt. So we already have a large hydro at about 20% of our total electricity in Bakun and Sarawak. So we do not count that because it's controversial. So some people say that you are sinking a carbon sink, so it may not be green. So we just say that, okay, this 20% does not include large hydro. So it will include only biomass, biogas, solar, wind, if there's any, geothermal, and all the other types of renewable energy. So we are looking into 20%, and the country needs to inject from now until 2025, commercialize at 6.9 gigawatt to go. 6.9 gigawatt of renewable energy that will amount to a private investment of about 33.25 billion ringgit of worth of investment. In terms of what are the types of renewable energy that will be most competitive at this moment. So we have done a study that, of course, then the most competitive price right now is on the solar. But every 6 months, the government review our power planning, of which the first time Ministry of Malaysia, they will publish our power planning end of the year. And then from then on, every 6 months, we'll publish our power planning. Because in power planning, that's when we decide on what types of renewable energy on what scheme. So we are going, these are the 3 things that we are looking at. One is on the net energy metering, where people have put on the behind the meter, generate behind the meter electricity with rooftop solar. But we are also looking into bio-CNG. That means, for example, you can still do a behind the meter bio-CNG. Rooftop solar, you generate electricity, you can sell to the national grid on a one-to-one offset basis. We are still encouraging growth. For more information, because I really don't have time to look into that, to speak about that. So, but for more information, you can go to www.seda.gov.my. So there, you can find the government policy as well as feed-in tariff mechanism. Feed-in tariff mechanism is the one that the government pays premium price through our renewable energy funds to biogas, biomass, and small hydro projects. So this is where some of the projects coming into that. But we are also now considering on bio CNG, that means bio compressed gas. where if it is behind the meter, it will be eligible for net energy metering. Net energy metering for this year and next year, we are opening up 500 megawatt. And at this moment, we have a take-up rate of about 60, so there are about 400 megawatt to go. That would amount to, again, at about 2 billion ringgit of investment just on net energy metering alone. But now, specifically, it's on rooftop solar. But bio-CNG, we are open up for this as long as it's behind the meter of generation. This will be studied and will be done. We have just approved it, but the projects have not come online. But we will see that project comes online next year also on the bio behind the meter net energy metering. But this is the concept. If you are industrial player, you understand. If you're not industrial player, just forget about it. Just leave it as it is. It's just think that there is a behind the meter generation. One of the things that on energy ministry is this. We want to. There are three Ds on electricity planning or power planning. What we call digitalization, democratization, decarbonization. Digitalization. So we have recently opened up. We have recently announced a reform plan on electricity and power sector that is featured in the, because it is actually quite technical in terms of technology and also in terms of financial terms. It's actually a featured interview with IGEM, so you can find it in the Financial Daily. You can just type mestecc 2.0 and Google about it on our entire plan of it. The entire objective of it, in short, is to open up power sector across the value chain from procurement of fuel, generation, transmission, distribution, to retail, to more players, to more competition, so that we can then drive the cost to be most competitive. And this one, we will open up procurement of fuel. That means we will really make sure that if there is implementation of third-party access framework for natural gas, and then we will also on the procurement of coal as well. But at the same time, digitalization of grid is something that will enable more and smarter, demand-driven supply of electricity, and therefore the whole electricity industry become more efficient. So these are the two parts of it, and there are, of course, a lot of frameworks that need to be done. There is a time frame for it, and so I hope that for more information, you can, for the players that are into electricity market, and so you can actually go and read about this plan. Mostly, whatever that's reported, mostly are right, except with the retail time. The retail time, we are going to open up the retail as soon as 2021 if there's any players, but we may not be able to get new players that come so quickly because the framework will only be done by 2020. So the overall of this is that we will go into full retail. It will be in phases of a retail market competition. It will be by phases, and it will take 10 years. So by 2029, we will have a full retail competition, because we need time for infrastructure change, we need time for people to change, and we need time all this, so it will take a long time. So that will be on the electricity reform. And recently we have also closed our 500 megawatt of large-scale solar. Many of you have, some of you have heard me saying that, or see the report, that large-scale solar this round, we received a lot of bids, and 365 megawatt out of 4 projects here that amount to 365 megawatt out of the 500 megawatt projects are actually below our average gas generation price cost. So that is the first time in the history of Malaysia that renewable energy is cheaper to generate than fossil fuel in real term. And that it will, I believe, will only be the beginning, and it will not. We will not end there. There will be more. There is more room here for us to drive down solar costs even more. So in our next meeting, we will be looking at specifications of the bid in such a way to drive more efficiency in solar power. So that is overall on our large-scale solar. So we are very heavily solar oriented, because competitive advantage of Malaysia in terms of renewable energy is really on solar. So we are looking at that solar to replace gas in the power system, and in the future we'll see more and more cheaper solar in time to come. And for the intermittency, some of you are worried about intermittency. If you are an industrial player, you may be wondering about intermittency of solar power. Actually, what we do for solar power is to replace the gas power in the morning. So it doesn't need to store in a way. So only there won't be instability up until about 30% of this have an intermittent power. Then our grid become unstable. By then, we already have a digitalized grid. Our grid will be fully digitalized in 7 more years. So 2 more regulatory periods. So we are, the whole power planning is actually in line with our renewable energy target as well. That is on last year's solar and feed tariff. Just go to set up and white. So that's basically what we do in terms of energy. In terms of circular economy, I think circular economy is a bit more not only mestecc, but it also involves housing and local government ministry. We are working together with the ministry as well. There's energy efficiency, sorry. Energy efficiency, we are tabling a bill next year on Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. This will push big energy and electricity users, not only electricity but thermal users as well, to be more efficient, to do energy reporting, etc., etc. So that will actually change the landscape of how people think about energy efficiency after the bill. And we are very much looking forward. We have finished the draft. We have also finished engagement with the MPs on the draft, etc. So now it's really sending back to the Attorney General Office. Hopefully we get it approved and to be able to table it in the next Parliament session. So the next one is on circular economy. So we are drafting another new bill that is on the Environment Quality Act. So mestecc is very busy drafting bills because we have bills that are very old. We have acts that are very old that cannot solve our current problem. We also have new act that's required. So we are actually drafting a new bill on the Environment Quality Protection Act where we control pollution. Actually, it's more on the Pollution Control Act. So the Pollution Control Act will then involve the circular economy. Why? Because the Pollution Control Act look into scheduled waste, that means hazardous waste in Malaysia, and how it's treated right now is linear. So that means when you generate, you actually send to waste disposal facilities and then it gets into landfill for hazardous waste. But what can we think differently? Because this the industrial waste can be recycled. Some of the industrial waste can be processed and recycled. So there needs to be a paradigm shift in terms of the act before that the private industry can come in and innovate and make sure that we also making sure that we recycle things that can be recycled instead of having more landfill, having more disposal facilities, we think of the recycle on the scheduled waste. But in terms of the circular economy, for the other types of waste, it is under our roadmaps towards zero single-use plastic by 2030. By 2021, we will also be tabling it's end of 2020. End of 2020, we will announce our circular economy roadmap. So right now we are in the midst of getting ideas for engagement with stakeholders on how do we deal with how do we draft the roadmaps and what are the roadmaps that can make an economic case for businesses. So we are a country that is still developing, although maybe that does not agree with me. We are a country that is in need of development, and that whenever the government think of environment issues or renewable energy issues, we are also taking into account what are the new industry that can be that we can generate, and the green industry, the number of jobs that we can create, etc. Renewable energy is one of the best examples that we can show right now. There is a business case being made. So the same goes to circular economy. We really hope that, of course, circular economy, we are really just at the beginning of it, and that we are working with local government ministry. But I believe that there is a business case we can show to the people that it is not only good for the environment, it's good for business, it's good for jobs, it's good for the money in the pockets. I think eventually things will only flow when the government has a regulatory framework that in such a way it incentivizes private investment, incentivize talent building, incentivize technology breakthrough, then it can have an ecosystem. Otherwise, it will, the agenda, the green agenda will just be personally driven or government driven. When you change the government or minister, things just don't move anymore. So what we want is an ecosystem that will last beyond one's ministership or government or anything. That let's create an ecosystem that will be able to say that the private people come into it. But first of all, government must innovate in a way that we must be able to have the framework so that you people are willing to invest in some of the things that I have shared with you earlier. So I have finished most of what I want to update with you. It's very, very quick, but most of the things you can Google, and most of the information available are online. We make it very so that people can access to our policy. I want to end with haze, because just now we talked about haze in the room. So I just want to say that a lot of people think that carbon emission reduction is about changing from renewable energy, changing to renewable energy, getting our waste management system and all that. But we forgot that the nature of it is that the best carbon sequestration is actually forests. Protecting the forests, making sure that we have enough forests, we have enough mangrove to actually sequestrate our carbon will be also the way to go. And for Malaysia and Indonesia, another one is to preserve our peatland. So one of the things that I want to give you a statistics of it is that, of course, more than 98% of the hotspots on the last haze is from Indonesia. I want to give you an idea of what is the amount and the perspective into carbon in the peat fire. Global peatland emissions from burning is 1,400 million tons per carbon dioxide equivalent per year. That will means 1,400, the majority comes from Indonesia and some of it from Malaysia. The other parts have peatlands, but they are in a very cold country that does not ignite themselves. Let's say, what is 1,400 million ton carbon dioxide equivalents per year? It is that it is actually more than the total emission, the carbon emission of Malaysia, of 5 times more. It means 1 month, what is generated by the fire is 5 times more than our annual carbon emission. And yet, we spend so much time, I spend so many hours talking about our renewable energy plan, which you get when you talk about climate change. So we also are looking into now we have in this IGEM we will launch renewable energy certificates market, trading markets, where corporates who want to go green, you can buy renewable energy certificates for our voluntary markets. Then you will be able to buy it and get a better carbon footprint. I think in the very, very near future we'll also have a carbon credit market, so that we'll be able to say, hey, who does preserving of peat, how to monetize our preservation work as well. So those are some of the things that I think in the future, in the very, very near future, the government wants to do. There are many things we want to do. There are many things that can be done very quickly. There are some things that can be done less quickly. So, but we want to hope that the government will be transparent. Some of you are businesses here. We want to make sure that one of the things on our energy reforms, on anything that we do with mestecc, is to make sure that transparency is our main agenda. That we want to be transparent to people. So that's why we will publish our public power planning. That's why everything that we decide on, it has to be, will be published and will be made known to the stakeholders, so that you are in an environment where you can invest. Certainly with the certainty. Maybe some is not in your favor, some is in your favor, but at least you know it. So with that, I have passed my time, 3 minutes past my time. I would like to wish you a very good session, and we hope to engage with you more. Thank you.